Hey y'all, so I am going to be kind of talking about a very serious topic today. As you can tell from the title, if you feel like this is going to be triggering for you, please don't watch it. I am going to talk about it because I feel like it's important to talk about, and this is something that happened to me though 4 years ago, and I'm just now getting the strength and the courage to do it and to talk about it on here. So if you can't handle it, please don't watch it. There's no shame in not being able to. I completely understand. But we're gonna be talking about my sexual assault story today. So let's just start. Sorry, I'm wearing pajama pants under this. Let's just start from the beginning. Let's just start from the beginning. This happened my freshman year of college. I got invited to a Halloween frat/sorority party. I decided that I was going to go because I had a friend that asked me to go, and I really wanted to see what it was about. I'd only been to one other party before and I hated it. Like, I'm just not a party person. I basically just decided that I was gonna try to live a little. I always was at home studying and reading, and I just wanted to have some college experience, maybe just have some fun. But basically I was there that night. I wanted to clarify something. What I'm about ready to say here, I'll just explain it. I did not drink an ounce of alcohol that night. That doesn't matter regarding this story. I'm trying to prove a point when I say I'm going to tell you what I'm wearing and what I did not drink. There is a point here. Don't think that I'm saying that if I was drinking or if I was wearing something provocative that I would have deserved it, because that is not what I'm saying. I am not saying that if a woman wears something provocative or if she's drinking that this deserves to happen to them. This is absolutely not what I'm saying. I'm going to prove a point. But basically, yeah, I had not drank anything the whole night. I didn't at all. I just not comfortable, mainly because I was driving. The thing is that even if let's say I got pulled over, if I even had any smell of alcohol on me, even if I just had a sip, I could still go to jail because I was underage, and I wasn't willing to do that. And plus I had a great grandmother that died in a car accident because a drunk driver hit her, and I could just never do that, and I could never put other people's lives in danger or my own. My dog is absolutely killing me. He's killing me. So like I said, I just wasn't willing to drink. I was also, for my Halloween costume, because it was a Halloween party, I had decided to go very last minute. I literally decided that morning that I was gonna go. I did something, I went as the most basic thing ever. I went as a fucking cat. I still regret that decision. That was so embarrassing. Basically just had on leggings, black leggings, and then I had on a long sleeved black t-shirt, and then I put on kitten ears and I drew some whiskers. So that's what I was wearing. Like I said, doesn't matter, but I'm trying to make a point. So we get to the party. So far everything's fine. And this is all supervised, by the way. This was a party that had police at the party. This was a legal supervised party. It was at a venue, it wasn't at a house, and we decided that I thought that that was a pretty safe place to be. I basically walked in. They were stamping people's hands that were over 21, so that way if you went to the bar, you could get a drink, and if you didn't have a stamp, you weren't allowed to drink. So we went in, and I just started kind of dancing a little bit because it was just really one big dance floor, and me and my friend had decided that we were just gonna dance a little bit, and we were just kind of swaying back and forth, nothing serious. And then I have this guy come up behind me, and I didn't know who he was. He didn't ask me if I wanted to dance. He just kind of grabbed me. He started taking my hips and rubbing me up against him. So at first I was like, okay, I've never danced with a guy like this. I'd only ever slow dance with a guy, and it was twice that I did it, and it was at prom. We were just dancing a little bit, and I was just like, whatever, I'll just dance for maybe a little while, and then maybe he'll go away. I just didn't know, and I felt like such a freak because I was so uncomfortable, and all these other people were doing it and they weren't as freaked out. So I was like, okay, let's just do it for a little bit. And he wasn't rubbing me up against him super hard at that point, but he was trying to grind basically. But then he started getting very handsy. He would slowly work his way up my shirt, and then I would take my hands in his and put them back down on my stomach, and I tell him not to do that. Then he whispered in my ear, "You're really hot." And then I looked, I said, "You have not even seen my face." I said, "How do you know I'm hot? You've only seen the back of my head." And then he turns me around, he says, "You're hot," and turns me back. Basically, and why I said that part of the story is that he didn't, like, he was literally just looking for a girl with legs, basically. Like, he didn't care what I looked like. He didn't even ask me for my name. Like, he wasn't trying to make a connection or anything. Like, not saying that he needed to, but Jesus, you don't just go up to a girl, grab her without asking, start gyrating on her, and then, like, say something stupid like that. Like, what the fuck ever. And, like, then after that, he went back to slowly going up my chest, and he grabbed my boobs, and he was, like, squeezing them, and then I kept putting them down. Then he went under my shirt and under my bra and started pinching my nipples. I didn't know what to do. It really hurt. And I took my nails and kind of dug into his hands, and he brought them back down. Then he started laughing, and he said, "I like it when they're frosty like that." He pulled my hair really hard, like from the back. He just really pulled my hair. I didn't know what to do. I was really scared. And yeah, and by the way, my friend had been mingling with other people at that point, and there were so many people dancing that nobody really would have been able to tell that anything was happening. But I kept telling him, "Please don't touch me, stop doing that." I was very verbal with him. I was like, "Don't do that, please." And I kept pushing his hands back down on my stomach, and I was like, "If we want to dance, then you're gonna have to do it this way." But he liked it that I was fighting back. So then he proceeded to put his hands in my pants, and he started playing with me down there. I was so fucking scared. I was like, oh my god, oh my god. And then he started to put his finger inside of me, which did hurt because, I mean, I'm a virgin, I'm still a virgin, and I never have had anything like that happen before, and it really pinched really bad. And also, I mean, you can imagine that you're supposed to be aroused when guys do that, and when you're not, it can sting. And so he did that. He kept doing it. I kept clawing him, and he was so drunk that I don't think that he felt me pinching the fuck out of him, or if he did, he just didn't care, or he liked the pain. I don't know, but he would just laugh. When I would say no, he would just laugh. And I managed to get him to keep his hands on my stomach for a while, but he kept trying to touch me in other places, and he kept grabbing my ass, and I was like, "Can you please stop doing that?" And I'm 5 foot tall, and back when I was a freshman, I hadn't gotten my curves yet. I weighed like 95 pounds, so he was so much stronger than me. He was so much bigger than me. He didn't have to try very hard to overpower me. So, and then eventually he had somebody come in and asked him to go get a drink, and he left, but he had grabbed me really hard by my hair and said, "Stay right here." And then he smiled at me and left, and I left. I'd come with my friend and 2 guys, and they were, I don't know how I got on the other end of the floor, but I did. And my friend was like, "Oh my god, I've been looking for you. There's so many people." And I was like, "Yeah, I know." And then I was like, that guy was so aggressive, and he like hurt me, and he touched me. And so the guy that I was with, that I went with there, was not the same guy, by the way, who had hurt me. This guy was a really nice guy. Kind of put his arm around me and told me that he was going to stand next to me. And when the guy came back and he saw that this guy was on me, he left. Didn't bother me again. But then I wanted to leave right after that. So I said, okay, I want to get the fuck out of here. And I went to the police outside, and they were flirting with a group of sorority girls. And I told them what happened, and I asked them, "Please walk me to my car." They didn't walk me to my car. They kind of just looked at me like, "Really? That you're upset about it? Like, who cares?" The attitude they had, and they went back to flirting with the sorority girls, and so I went back inside, and I asked my friends to walk me to my car, because I told him I was not comfortable walking to my car by myself after that just happened. He would have raped me, for sure. I know he would have. He was so violent, he was so mean and aggressive, and he wanted me to stay where I was, but I absolutely wasn't going to do that. I was like, yeah, I'm leaving. So I got walked to my car, I left, I went and got Taco Bell, and I ate my fucking feelings and food and cried the entire night. And it's something that I feel like it's weird that it affected me this way, because I wasn't raped. and I know that there are women who've had it so much worse. It did really bad, it really negatively affected me. And I'd already had some incidences in the past, not as bad as that one, but just like, you know, like I had this guy in 8th grade that like literally harassed me. He would text me pages and pages of telling me why he was in love with me, and he would just say really fucked up things to me. And I actually had to like switch classes because of that, and I had to block him on everything. My teachers knew about it. We were like sharing 2 classes, and they switched me around so that way I didn't have to have class with him or anything. And he would just say some really violent, mean things to me. I already had some stuff happen, and then that happened, and it was just like, I am so petrified of anything that's physical in a relationship. I actually had my first like consensual experience this past year. I'm not going to get into the details or anything, obviously. We just kissed, we just kissed a little bit. There was nothing that happened. Like, there wasn't anything that was crazy, just that. I couldn't enjoy it. I couldn't get into it also because I kept thinking about that moment in my life, and I kept thinking about it and thinking about it and thinking about it. And it's like, anytime he would go to touch me anywhere, I would stiffen up and get scared and like almost go right back to where I was, and could feel that creep's hands all over me and inside of me, and it just really, it would freak me out, and I couldn't enjoy that experience. And I felt angry because I had let him rob me of that experience. And I mean, it's fine. This guy that I was with ended up being a complete douchebag anyways, so it didn't matter. We weren't like together or anything. We were just trying to see, you know. He ended up being an asshole. He was like more of the fuck buddy type, you know? No. I was angry though because I felt like he robbed me of my very first experience, that he was there and I couldn't quit thinking about that. It was making me clam up, and it was making me like want to stop and not do anything, and it just was horrible. I, to this day, like, dream about it. I still have horrible nightmares. I can still smell his breath, and I can still feel his breath on me. It was just disgusting. And I wanted to talk about this because the point of the story, sorry, my dog is down here. Hi, baby. What's the matter? The point of this story is to say that it doesn't matter what you're wearing. It didn't matter. I wasn't wearing anything that showed any skin. I was covered head to toe in black. It didn't matter. And it also didn't matter that I hadn't drank anything. They always say, oh, it's the girl's fault if they drink too much. It depends, like if she was wearing this, then it's her fault. And we always somehow end up getting blamed for our own sexual assault stories. And we also somehow end up being the suspect and treated as such instead of the victim. The point of the story is, it doesn't matter what you're wearing. It doesn't matter what you're drinking. That guy wanted to do something with me. He wanted to fuck with me, and it didn't matter. And he took that opportunity, and he really, really didn't care what I was wearing or what I was drinking. He didn't give a fuck. That's the big point of the story. And also, like, I wanted to bring awareness to the fact that the police officers there did nothing for me. They basically laughed at me and told me that that's not that big of a deal. They wouldn't even walk me to my car. And I even had said, fine, if you don't take it seriously, whatever, just walk me to my car. They didn't care. That's the other moral to it. And I seriously, I went home and cried the entire night. It was just a really traumatic experience, and it prevents me from being able to also read certain books. Like, and I know that sounds probably ridiculous, but there is this book that I really want to read called Pretty Girls by Karen Slaughter. I don't know if I can read it because of the fact that there is a lot of rape in that, and I really don't know if I can read it because I read a book, what was it? I can't remember. It was a while back, and there was a rape scene in it, and I had a complete panic attack. I couldn't breathe. I couldn't do anything. So it really, really, really scared me, and I can't watch movies that have any sort of thing like rape or sexual assault in it. I don't read books. I can't seem to get in a relationship because of this, which I need to go to therapy for it, but I haven't found a therapist here yet. But basically, it's really like shaped who I am as an adult, especially regarding sexual relationships. I know part of the reason that I still haven't had sex is because of that. I have had opportunities to, but I don't know. It's just like whenever you're closing your, like whenever I close my eyes and I'm like in that moment with that person, all I see is him and all I feel is him. And that's just like a really weird feeling and a really fucked up one too. And I mean, even if the police would have taken it seriously, I'm sure they still would have found a way to blame me. I'm not sure how they would have done it, but I'm sure they could have found a way. Probably would have just said, oh, you don't need to be out. You didn't need to be out partying. Like, that's your fault. Like, you stupid bitch. Like, oh my God. Like, I could so hear somebody saying something like that. But basically, that's why I wanted to share this. I wanted people that have been sexually assaulted to not feel alone and to know that you shouldn't have had to go through that. I feel like that's a given, but you really shouldn't have. And also to just bring awareness to the fact that that shit that you hear about, if you wear the right thing and if you don't drink alcohol, then you're not going to get raped or you're not going to get assaulted. That doesn't matter. It doesn't mean shit. The guy will still do it. Like, if the guy wants to do it, he's going to do it. That's all there is to it. I just wanted to kind of bring awareness to that. And after 4 years of this absolutely taunting me and haunting me and having horrible nightmares about it, I just felt the need to talk about it. And I hope that maybe it helps somebody. I'm hoping this helped me too, to just talk about it. Yeah, I'm just gonna end the video now. There's not really anything else to say, but I will just see y'all in the next video.